Hello, it is day 8 of our 12 days of Crochetmas. So let's open box 8 and see what we're making today. Oh, it's our last really little one. So the hint for today was that this creature was named after the mother of all monsters in Greek mythology. So let's see if any of you got it right. And it is a tiny little echidna. He looks like a blueberry. I kind of just want to... I won't though, it's okay. Let's get into it. Remember to post photos of your finished creatures to the Complicated Knots Discord or on Instagram using the tag hashtag 12 days of crochet to be in with a chance to receive a digital copy of all 12 patterns. Okay, so to make our echidna today, you're going to need 8 ply 100% acrylic yarn in one colour, as well as a needle and a small amount of white to add the details to the eyes. Speaking of which, you're going to need a pair of 9mm safety eyes, your 3.5mm hook, scissors, and some stuffing. Okay, so grab a strand of the colour you're making your echidna, and we're going to start with a magic ring. Into that ring, we are going to put 3 single crochet, and then a triple crochet or a treble crochet. So we do that by yarning over our hook twice and inserting our hook into the magic ring, yarning over again and pulling up a loop, leaving us with 4 loops on our hook. Then we just yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the final 2 loops. So that is the only time you'll need that stitch for this particular pattern, and it's going to be used to help us create his nose. Then we are just going to add 2 more single crochet into our magic ring. Now make sure that that triple crochet is bobbling out towards you, not away from you. So I've just had to poke mine through from the other side there. And with that, we are going to pull our magic ring shut. So that is going to be the beak of your echidna. In row 2, we're going to work 2 increases, then 3 single crochet, and then an increase to finish the round. So you should currently have 9 stitches around. We then have just 1 more row to work before we start adding spines. So it's a single crochet, 3 single crochet into the same stitch, a single crochet, an increase, 4 single crochet along the bottom of the head, and an increase to finish the round. So that should leave us with 13 stitches around. And in the next row, we're going to start adding his spine texture. So we are going to do that using spike stitches. So to start that round, we just do a regular single crochet. And then the next stitch is a spike stitch. A spike stitch is basically a single crochet, but instead of working through the loops, we work into the same stitches as the previous row, skipping the loops on top. Be careful when working your spike stitches that you're not accidentally skipping stitches you don't mean to. So that's our first spike stitch. Then in the next stitch, we're going to work 3 single crochet all into the same stitch. And then the next one is a spike stitch again. So instead of working through the loops at the top, we're going to work through the opening at the base of the stitch, which just happens to be the same as our first spike stitch there. There's our second spike stitch. We're then going to finish the round with a single crochet, an increase, 6 single crochet along the bottom, and then an increase in the last stitch. So that's the end of row 4. So row 5 starts with a spike stitch. So instead of working through the loops at the top, we're going to work through the gap at the base. Here's our spike. We then work a single crochet, another spike stitch, an increase, and then we're going to do 2 repeats of a spike stitch and then a single crochet. So that's 1 and that's 2. We're then going to put 3 single crochet into the same stitch, 7 single crochet along the bottom of the head, and then finish the row by putting 3 single crochet all into the same stitch. So there we are at the end of row 5, and you should have 22 stitches in total in your round. In the next row, we're going to add his front feet. So we're going to start by doing 2 repeats of a single crochet and then a spike stitch. And then 4 repeats of a spike stitch and then a single crochet. So by now you should be able to notice this bobbly texture starting. You should also be noticing that we tend to put a spike stitch when we're working into a single crochet and a single crochet when we're working into a spike stitch. So in the next stitch, we're going to form his little foot. So we're going to do that using a 3 double crochet cluster. So we do that by yarning over our hook and inserting it into the stitch, then yarning over and pulling up a loop. So we have 3 loops on our hook, then yarning over and pulling through the first 2 loops. So that is our little double crochet stub. And we're going to work 2 more of those into the same stitch, and each one will add a new loop onto our hook. So just like that, leaving me with 4 loops on my hook, I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 4, and then chain 1 to lock that stitch in. So that is his first foot. And then we're going to work 5 single crochet along his belly, and then put another 3 double crochet cluster into the next stitch. Like so. We're then going to work a single crochet, a spike stitch, another single crochet, and another spike stitch, which brings us back to the start of our round. So there we are at the end of row 6. So you'll note that the tallest point of it is centered between his 2 little leg knobs, if you're looking directly at his nose. So now you should go ahead and just work up the next 4 rows, paying careful attention to where the spike stitches go. So there we are at the end of row 10. You might want to count and just make sure that you still have 22 stitches in your round, but for now we are going to stop and insert our eyes. So he really does have just this tiny little face, and as I mentioned, that's his, I think it's known as a beak in his species, but it's his little nose. The magic ring is that little opening sitting on top of the nose, and we're going to count to row 2 and just pop these little eyes in, just like that, into row 2. So the nose should be centered between them, and there's about 1 stitch on either side of the nose is the spacing there. So when you're happy with those, we're going to snap our backs on. So now we're moving into row 11, which is more of the same, except we're making his back feet as well. So it starts with 2 repeats of a spike and then a single crochet. And then 4 repeats of a single crochet and a spike. Then a single crochet. And then in the next stitch, we're going to work another 3 double crochet cluster. Then 5 single crochet across the belly. And our final 3 double crochet cluster. We're then just going to finish that round with a single crochet and a spike. Row 12 is a single crochet, a spike, then a single crochet, then a decrease, then 3 repeats of a single crochet and a spike. We're then going to work a single crochet, and then we're going to single crochet 3 together. So that's an extended decrease over 3 stitches, and the 3 stitches are the remaining stitch before our cluster, the cluster itself, and then the first stitch after the cluster. Then you just yarn over and finish off your decrease. We're then just going to work 3 single crochet across his tummy. Then we're going to work another single crochet 3 together. So again, the first stitch is the stitch before the cluster, then the cluster itself, and then the first stitch after the cluster. Then we finish that round with just a single crochet. So you should be down to 17 stitches in total now. Row 13 starts with 3 repeats of a spike and then a decrease. Like so. Then we have a single crochet and a spike. Then we have a decrease, a single crochet, a decrease, and one final spike to finish the row. So our opening is now down to 12 stitches, and we are going to stop and stuff at this point. You can stuff it as firmly as you like, but keep in mind that you really only need to stuff it just enough to hold its shape. Like so. And then we're just going to work the final 2 rows to finish closing off the bud. Then we're just going to finish off. We're going to take our remaining yarn and just pull it through the front loops of each of the remaining 6 stitches and pull it tight to close off that remaining opening, and just tuck that strand away inside your echidna. So there is your cute little nugget. And now we are just going to take a little bit of white and add the whites to his eyes. And trim off any ends and tuck them in. I am running out of spaces to put ya. Block something if I put you there. You might have to get a second story in here. So that's it for today. Your hint for day 9 is his name is probably Bruce. Okay, bye.